The foundation of the handshake was very loose. It wasn't founded on honesty. It wasn't founded on genuine concern for the people of Kenya. And that is why it has, the problems have come up at this moment. For me as a person who has been in this political game for a while, I think the handshake has failed to achieve the unity that we are told it was meant to achieve. In the opposite of it, it has achieved a lot of division. We have seen the crumbling of the Jubilee Party, where I served as Deputy Secretary General. We have seen the reemergence of dictatorship. We have seen the reemergence of the disobeying of court orders. Even a simple thing like swearing in judges who have gone through all the constitutional processes cannot be undertaken, and nobody is saying anything about it because the system, or rather the deep state, or rather the executive, does not want to swear them in. Actually, the buck stops with His Excellency the President, because he has never given any reason why he should not swear in the judges. So I think the handshake has failed to achieve its purpose. It came in also, we have seen the sidelining of the Deputy President since the handshake, and people trying to call him names and trying to make him look bad and trying to say that he is being disobedient to the President. If there's anybody who has lived the Jubilee dream and tried to live the Jubilee dream, is William Ruto. In the Jubilee dream, we said we are going to have a political party that will be uniting Kenyans, that will resonate across the country without being seen as a tribal party. That is what we intended to achieve in Jubilee. Sadly, it is only William Ruto who has kept that dream burning. The President seems to have backtracked on that dream, and it's a sad thing that the handshake actually caused that. The other issue of the handshake is that it has come in as, it is now, we are trying to glorify disobedience of the rule of law. You are saying the handshake came to reward Raila for having refused to concede the 2017 elections, which he boycotted after the courts ordered a repeat election and went ahead and swore him in. Raila has never denounced his swearing in. He has never apologized to the people of this republic for having, for the chaos and the destruction of property that went in. But we just took it simply because two people came together for their own personal interest, and here we are with the handshake. I'm told there are few problems now. I don't think they are few. They look monumental, but that is for them to sort out. For those of us who are never involved in the handshake, we will not get involved in the divisions they seem to be having. We shall let them sort them out on their own, the way they came together with the handshake. I don't hold any grudges because I served with a clear mind. I served with the interests of the party at heart. I served with the interests of the people who elected us, the people of Soy and the people of Kenya who voted overwhelmingly for Jubilee. I did my work as was supposed to do as per the party constitution. I was removed unconstitutionally. That is a part of the Jubilee that has actually metamorphosized since the handshake to become a dictatorship. We have seen the only active organ in the Jubilee Party is the disciplinary party organ, which always recommends the expulsion and the harassing of nominated MCAs and nominated member senators. It's actually sad that a party that was founded on very high democratic ideals has now sunk as low as Jubilee has sunk. In politics, there are no permanent enemies and no permanent friends. If President Uhuru is now hugging Babu Owino, a man who insulted even his parents, then anybody can work with anybody in this republic. If Raila Odinga, a man who refused to accept that Uhuru was duly elected, is now working and is now favored in government, then a government that he didn't even participate in forming, then anybody can work with anybody. But I think for the future of UDA is bright. We have transferred the ideals that we had when we formed the Jubilee and collapsed UDA, TNA and the URP. We have now transformed that into UDA, whereby we are going to ensure that we field a candidate in every part of the country. I saw some people celebrating when we didn't win some seats anywhere. But UDA is the only political party that had fielded candidates across all by-elections in the Republic of Kenya. And we shall do that in the general election. We shall have a candidate in every civic or rather county assembly representation, county governments, members of parliament, senators, and women reps. depending on how this BBI story goes, we shall field a candidate everywhere. And UDA is a party that is resonating well with our symbol, the wheelbarrow, and I think we are going to, I don't think we are going to surprise anybody, because I think they've already seen it. The writings are on the wall. Everybody is talking about this UDA, a party that hasn't even been officially launched. It's hardly 3 months old, but it is causing people sleepless nights. So the future of UDA is very bright. If the deputy president will run on this party or not, I do not know, because he is not a member of UDA. He's a member of the Jubilee party. He's a deputy president. So am I. But I am UDA is an affiliate party of Jubilee. We had an agreement with a party called PDR, which changed its name to UDA, and so we are going to be working very closely with Jubilee until the end of this term, and then UDA will go its own. There's a lot of secrecy in this BBI. Nobody exactly knows what document we are going to be debating. So I think we are going to get copies as members of parliament as the bill comes. Then we are now going to see exactly the real issues that are there in the BBI, and that is when we will now make an informed decision on exactly how we are going to vote when the matter comes to the floor of the House, or how we are going to debate. We will definitely give our input, because it is part of our constitutional right to do so in parliament.